Okay. I guess we'll just kind of chill for a little bit. Wait for everybody to show up. Hopefully people show up. Matthew, Jude, what's going on, guys? Are you guys new here? I don't remember seeing you guys before. Wow, Leo's here already. People are showing up already. All right. Oops. I need to mute them. Okay. Oh my goodness. I have not read Old Man Logan #1 yet, although I need to. Maybe I kind of picked a bad time, like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Maybe that wasn't the best time to live stream this, but I just got back, so I figured, what the hey, why not? So we'll see if anybody starts to show up. What's going on, Thomas Mason? Glad you were on Twitter. Let's see. Twitter.com. Okay. Norn Rad. Wow, you're still here? Damn, you've been here since the beginning. That's crazy. Rob Bob Bobbert. Actually, kind of a funny story. When I was in high school, a friend of mine used to call me Bobbert because they couldn't remember if my name was Rob or if I wanted to go by Bobby or Robert. So, what's going on, Dreadrot? Thank you. Like, it's good to be back. I'm exhausted. Like my mind is running at a million miles an hour, but like my body's really tired. So I'm in like this weird in between spot. It's kind of crazy. But what's going on, Rich Watson? Awesome. In here from London. What's going on, Paul Jones? People are showing up. Yay! I wasn't sure if people were actually going to be able to make it or not. I was like, whatever, I'll just do a live stream because I know I missed Comics and Coffee on Monday, or I'm sorry, yesterday on Sunday because I was driving back. And I was like, what the hey, might as well go ahead and live stream it now. So I figured it couldn't hurt. So I'm just kind of waiting for people to trickle in. I think it'll probably take a little bit because it's like 5 in the afternoon here in the States, East Coast time. And so West Coast, it's like 2 in the afternoon or something like that. And so we may not get a whole lot of people to show up. I'm not really sure how many people will actually appear here, but I guess we'll find out here in the next little bit. But so what's been going on with you guys? Anything new happening? Which, by the way, that reminds me, I've been going through the Secret Wars stuff from week 2, which I need to do a review on week 2. I'll probably do like a week 2 review on like Wednesday, weekly pull for life, or at least a really long time. Well, awesome, I appreciate it. But I'll probably do like a review of week 2 on Wednesday, and then a review of week 3 on Thursday. So that way we'll get caught up. And then we still have to continue Age of Apocalypse. And then there's stories like Inferno, stuff like that. Because Inferno is exactly what I thought it was going to be, which is good. Like, what's going on, Wolfman? Alonzo Harris, what's going on? Paul Jones, yeah, dude, I feel you, man. Like, I've got all the solicitations from last week that I need to get caught up with. And then I actually need to go to my comic book store and pick them up. But I was reading online the reviews and so on about the issue so far, and like I said, they're exactly what I thought they would be. Like Inferno was what I was hoping it would be. Inferno is just like a different version of how Inferno could have gone. What would have happened if like the X-Men lost? If they lost to the demons that were being controlled by oh god, what was her name? Madeline Pryor. So I'm really interested to see how it all plays out. But Wolfman, I'm just chilling, man. I'm as you guys can probably tell, I'm kind of tired, but I'm really anxious to do this Comics and Coffee thing too because it's fun. So, like I said, we'll see how many people show up. I don't know how many people are actually gonna show up here, but you know, again, it's just one of those funny things, I guess, one of those weird things. I wonder if it showed up on Twitter. Yeah, I started a live stream, Comics and Coffee. I can't retweet my own tweet. That's interesting. It'd be kind of funny if you could. Rob, was Inferno in Limbo or Manhattan? It was actually in both. And we'll talk about this a little more once we get into like the actual Q&A proper when more people show up here. But wow, 10:30 p.m. in the UK, damn. But Limbo originally, the way it was originally given to us back in the 19, ooh, when did Limbo originally come out? Like 1996, I think. No, there's no way that's right. There's no way that's right. Let's see. Marvel Inferno. I don't remember. 1989. Okay. So it originally came out in 1989, and like the way that the Inferno was originally given to us, it was actually like the story of Madeline Pryor, who was Jean Grey's clone. And that was actually, it was a really big deal because we never had any backstory on Madeline Pryor. She just like showed up. She was just there one day. And Scott Summers was like, "Oh my God, you look so much like Jean. Like, I'm just going to pretend you're Jean." And he would call her Madeline, but in his mind, it was Jean Grey. And so of course they had a kid together and so on and so forth. But the way that it originally played out, like she became the Goblin Queen, and she basically, it was like this huge, crazy thing. But it did two things. The one is, of course, it gave us the backstory of Madeline Pryor, and two, it established that magic, or I guess Ilyana Rasputin, could jump in between like reality, or I guess in between like other dimensions and the main Earth 616. But what it looks like is in the Inferno story from Secret Wars, it's a different take. The question is, what would have happened if like Madeline Pryor hadn't been defeated? If we had seen, yeah, it's really it's raining. Yeah, I came in through Indiana, so it was like really drizzly the whole time. But I it looks like it's like a take on what would have happened if like Madeline Pryor basically won if the goblins hadn't been defeated, and that's really an interesting concept with Inferno. It could be really really cool, or it could be really really dumb. So I guess we'll see how it all plays out. Let's see. Old Man Logan, the new Wolverine. What do you think? I actually haven't read Old Man Logan yet, which I need to. But I saw a lot of questions people were asking me about Old Man Logan, about like, what I think about all the different versions of Wolverine and all that different kind of stuff. And am I going to go over them? And yes, well, we're going to go over them. What we're going to do, because what it seems like Marvel's doing is they're picking like select versions of characters and they're throwing them in. And so what we're going to do, or at least what I plan to do, is we're going to go over like the most prominent members of the Thor Corps, and we're going to go over the most prominent members of like all the Hulks, all the versions of the Incredible Hulk. And if what's going on, Shady Bro, and if Old Man Logan's like I think it's going to be, then we're going to go over the most prominent versions of Wolverine. That way, we don't it gets reasonable. It won't be insane in terms of how much stuff is being thrown out there at one time. So. Derbyshire, pissing down in Derbyshire. Wolfman, wow, Qatar? Dang. Let's see. It looks like it's going to last a little while as well. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Talk more about DC Comics? Definitely. Like, that's the whole thing of Comics Explained, is to incorporate more DC Comics stuff. Oh, wow, everybody's starting to show up now. What's going on, Rob? Thoughts on New Mutants movie? I'm a little unsure about a New Mutants movie. It'll be interesting, but I'm not really sure how I feel about it. The whole see, it's weird. Like I've been like gone from like the whole like everything for the last like 5 or 6 days. So from the time that Secret Wars first came out, all that information, I guess from the time that Week 2 came out, all that information up until now, like I have no knowledge on it. Like I have no idea what's going on there. So, anyway, no, what's going on, Liam? The whole thing about this, about Comics Explained, is to cover DC Comics. So we'll definitely do some more DC comic book stuff. In fact, the next top 5 that I have is top 5, I guess like lantern wielders. So, or like the top 5 lanterns. So like my selection. So like Kyle Rayner, Hal Jordan, John Stewart, Atrocitus, stuff like that. Like those will be like we'll order, or at least I'll order those in terms of my top 5 of all the people who have ever wielded a Green Lantern or wielded a lantern ring at all of any kind, and kind of go from there. So fun fact: I bought The Walking Dead #1 at A+ Comics in Lexington back in 2003. Best purchase ever. Yeah, dude. If you have The Walking Dead #1, you need to get Robert Kirkman to sign that. Like that would be nuts. Let's see. Will you be reading the new Midnighter series? Actually, no. I've never heard of it, to be honest. Well, who produces it? Who produces the Midnighter series? Oh, well, I mean, let's look it up. Let's see. Midnighter Comics. Huh. Rogue superhero team, The Authority. Oh, okay. So Wildstorm produces it under DC Comics. Okay. That's interesting. Any comic book series I should read? Well, that's actually, it's funny that you asked that question, because with Secret Wars being the way it is, with everything going about in terms of Secret Wars, with Inferno, like I was mentioning earlier, the thing about Inferno is that they're basically like retelling a different version of the Inferno story. So it couldn't hurt to read Inferno, but really we're gonna kind of have to take it like a case by case basis. I could tell you like mainstays, like staple stories in Marvel. Like I could tell you that in Marvel Comics, you could go with like the Infinity Gauntlet, Civil War, just like the regular stuff. Spider-Man One More Day, just to say that you read it and you hated it like everybody else. It's really kind of hit and miss on a lot of the stories. But again, it's kind of difficult to pinpoint in terms of like DC. It depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for older stories or you're looking for New 52, I would say probably Jeff Johns' entire run, like Jeff Johns' Green Lantern saga, like Green Lantern Epic, is the way to go. It's a huge, comprehensive story. Blackest Night and Brightest Day and so on and so forth. Those are really, really cool stories. Am I on the Comics Amino app? No, I'm not on Comics Amino. Actually, this just started, Darth. Let's see. Have I ever heard of The Authority? No. I mean, I never really read anything by Wildstorm, so I've never really heard of The Authority or anything like that. Have you seen Mad Max? Is it good? Mad Max is really, really good. Like, I really loved it. Let's see. Catch up on Secret Wars now, or you'll be spending weeks catching up already. Yeah, I know. Like, my next video is going to come out Wednesday. So I'm going to take, like, after this is done here, I'm going to take the rest of tonight, and then I'm going to take tomorrow, and I'm going to catch up on all the Secret Wars stuff. I'm going to try to get current, or as current as I can, and go from there. Rob, as you heard, Convergence rewrote the history of DC. Do you like the way the slap us in the face with undoing their entire history? Well, it's kind of a loaded question. Thanks a lot, Grim the Great. I don't really consider it a slap in the face so much as it is them. I mean, this is like what fans asked for. Like, fans wanted like older stories, and so that's what they gave him. What is that comic in the background? That is. See, this is what happens when you have ADD. Like, you focus on like everything at the same time. This is Fantastic Four Annual Number 2. This is the history of Doctor Doom. So, anyway, it's a giant size issue. It's what fans asked for. Fans said they wanted older stories, and so DC gave them older stories, and then fans were getting angry about it. I never really understood that, but no, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with Convergence. I mean, the New 52 continuity in terms of like that universe is going to stay. We're just going to get like, well, at least that version of Superman is going to be the main Superman, although they're changing it up because they're taking his powers away. But again, we'll see what happens. What happened to the definitive Superman video? I'm still working on it. Let's see. Rob? What do I think will happen if Fantastic Four and X-Men fail at the box office? Could they go into the MCU? Possibly, but I don't see Fox giving away. Fox is not going to get rid of the rights to the X-Men. They'll make X-Men movies until the end of time because it's just going to be a cash grab. Every single time an X-Men movie comes out, because Fox is the only one making it, people are going to go see it. It's their only source for X-Men material. So it makes sense. Unless like Marvel somehow has the rights to X-Men the Animated Series, and they bring the X-Men the Animated Series back, then that could take away from the, especially if they made like an animated movie based on X-Men the Animated Series, that would take away from the box office of the X-Men film. And if they consistently did that, it could take away from, Fox may give the rights back. I'm not really sure, but right now, Fox doesn't really have anything to lose by keeping the rights. I mean, they can keep making movies, people will keep going to see them, and that's that. I mean, there really isn't a whole lot of reason to give them back. Favorite Secret Wars tie-in so far? Man, it's kind of a hard one. See, the problem is they're not complete. And so, I mean, and this is kind of one of the things that I didn't like about what Marvel did with Secret Wars, is they're releasing it like in segments. You get Planet Hulk number 1 here, then Planet Hulk number 2 there, then Planet Hulk number 3 there, and so on. I'm not really sure I enjoy that whole thing, but I would say that my favorite so far would probably be like Planet Hulk. I like that one so much because you have like Joe Fixit. I think it was Joe Fixit, that version of the Incredible Hulk. That's a really cool version. So I really like that. Like the story so far. Will I cover JLA Avengers crossover comic? I may, but right now it's all like Secret Wars and whatever DC is going to do with Superman and whatever other characters they have. So it's like it's like we're really tied up at the moment. Because keep in mind, guys, like I mean, we've got to we got to finish Age of Apocalypse, which we'll probably, fingers crossed, we'll have that finished this week. And then we have to start on Inferno. We've got to do Where Monsters Dwell. Like we have to do like all the stuff that Secret Wars is doing. Like we've got to do all the old stories, and then we've got to cover Secret Wars. Because the problem is like with Inferno, like Inferno just picks up. It just says, well, the X-Men lost. And so people are like, well, I mean, it doesn't give me like the original. I don't understand how this, like, how does this tie in? And people just don't know what the hell's going on. And so we've got to go and we've got to explain the original Inferno and then say, okay, this is where the story differs. Instead of the X-Men winning, the X-Men lose, and just kind of go from there. So, let's see, what mic is it? This is a RE20 microphone. I can't remember who it is who makes it. Can't remember who it is, but anyway, yeah, it's an RE20. So you can just Google RE20 microphone. Am I still going to the gym? Yes. Could you do Nathaniel Richards explained on a Monday request if it's popular enough? I mean, Marvel request, or I guess Comics Request Monday is like your all's day to decide what videos go up. I mean, I don't determine that. I don't make that decision. That's you all. So if it's popular, it'll go up there. Let's see. Who is your favorite indie book? Let's see. My favorite indie book is definitely probably The Walking Dead. That's my favorite one at the moment. Let's see. How are you today? I'm doing pretty good. Do I think they will reveal an Infinity Stone in the Doctor Strange movie that's coming out? Definitely. Doctor Strange is too big of a character for them to not reveal an Infinity Stone, because Doctor Strange is involved in like the mystics and magic and crazy dimensions and all that kind of stuff. And so he's the perfect person to like introduce an Infinity Stone with. I don't understand why they wouldn't. So it'd be kind of weird. Let's see. Do I watch Game of Thrones? Yes, I love Game of Thrones. Rob, you're so cool. I appreciate it. What are your favorite exercises in the gym? Mine's cleans and jerks. Mine is the deadlifts. And then before that, it was actually the bent over barbell curls. But I think deadlifts work the back much, much better. And they work the back, the glutes, the hamstrings. Like they work like that whole, like this whole like mid area, everything from like the knees up to the abs. Like it's a really, really cool workout. The bench press is a classic. Squats, strangely enough, I don't mind squats. They're not the greatest. Like they kind of suck, but at the same time, like they're so good for you that, I kind of enjoy the element of doing those. A few other exercises here and there, but for the most part, like I use a workout routine where it works like the most muscle groups at one time, because that's a realistic way of lifting. Like people, like whenever you lift, like if you go to lift something heavy, you don't just lift with your arms in isolation. Like you lift with your legs and your lower back and your arms and your chest and your shoulders and all that kind of stuff. So I like to work as many muscles at one time as I can. So anyway. Who made the drawings behind me? I can't tell you, but I got them commissioned at New York Comic Con. I forgot my coffee. I did not forget my coffee. Since I just finished a 23-hour drive, I've had more coffee than you can imagine, and so I am not drinking coffee. It'll be Sunday before I drink coffee again. So, let's see. Where did that Iron Man sketch come from? I want to buy it for. Oh yeah, no, I'm not telling you guys. Let's see. Just came across the channel. I love it. Well, I'm glad you love it. Let's see. Just came into workouts and coffee. Yes, this episode has nothing to do with comics. We're talking about exercises and coffee. So, let's see. What did you think of this week's Game of Thrones episode? I actually haven't seen it yet. So, what's your opinion of the Spider-Man Renew Your Vows? I actually haven't read it yet. Is it out already? I don't think Spider-Man Renew Your Vows is out already. Let's see. How much is your collection? How much of your collection is physical and digital? Most of it's digital, because I use Marvel Unlimited, so I just go directly to Marvel Unlimited and just read it there, or Comixology. But I have a few, here and there. I've got, like most of it's in storage, like all the old stuff, like New Mutants number 98, like the old Green Lantern stuff, the Cable and Deadpool run, like all that kind of stuff. Like that's all in storage. So, let's see. Favorite among the Spider-Man candidates. As far as I knew, there was only Asa Butterfield, but are there more? If there's more, let me know, because I'm pretty sure Asa Butterfield is the only one that is playing Spider-Man. Let's see. Let's scroll back up. Can we talk about the Flash season 2? What do you guys think about the Flash? Because we talked about that during the weekly poll. What do you guys think about the Flash? Like, I'm actually pretty psyched. I think the Flash is going to be, I think season 2 is going to be pretty awesome. I think we're basically going to see like the Flash running through like I don't know, other dimensions, other realities, something like that. But I don't know if we're ever going to actually like see him come back, or I guess we will. But I don't know. It's weird. I think that this season is going to focus on other dimensions, on other realities, which is cool because I think that he's going to like expand and he's going to grow. Is anybody else having a hard time hearing me? If you guys can hear me fine, then that I'll escape guy will be fine. So, which comic book movie pissed me off the most? I mean, none really. I mean, none really made me angry after watching it. I was just like, man, that sucks. I mean, I guess maybe like the way they did Deadpool and well, no, okay, Wolverine Origins was like crap. Like Wolverine's Origins was a terrible movie. I didn't really get like angry walking out of it. I was just like, man, I wasted my money, and that was kind of it. So, let's see. I can't wait for Supergirl. Yeah, I think Supergirl's gonna be pretty solid too. So, love the Flash. So much better than Arrow. I think they're actually pretty even. I think they're pretty solid in terms of how they came together. It's cool they decided to cross them over. See, I think that's where like DC's bread and butter is. Like, I think that's where DC's really strong is having like a strong TV universe. Like the strong TV universe is like really where there's. I mean, Marvel has the movies and they have Netflix. You know, DC has like the Flash. They have Arrow. They should bring in Supergirl. They should bring in Constantine. They should bring in Gotham. All those things should fold in together for a really cool cinematic universe. But I guess we'll find out whether it will or not. In the Doctor Strange movie, do you think the Eye of Agamotto is going to be an Infinity Catalyst in the Marvel movie like the Tesseract Cosmic Cube? I think so. I think that the Eye of Agamotto is like probably the single most important artifact that Doctor Strange has because it lets him do so much stuff. I mean, it lets him open portals across the world, it lets him do all different things, I guess across the cosmos and all kinds of stuff. So it's a very, very important artifact. I would say if we're going to see him equip any kind of artifact, it'll be the Eye of Agamotto. And so it makes sense that they would make like the core, the actual power behind the Eye of Agamotto, I was going to say a secret war, an Infinity Stone. That would make perfect sense. I'd love to see that. Like, I think that'd be cool. But again, it's really just kind of up in the air, I think. Adam Hutton, hey from UK, Rob. What's going on, Adam? Do you like Hal Jordan, John Stewart, Kilowog, Kyle Rayner most as a Green Lantern? Actually, we're going to run over that list, so I'm not going to tell you what my list is right now, but we will go over that list very, very soon. If the Living Tribunal and the One Above All were in the MCU, what event were to happen for them to appear? Oh, God. Well, you're talking about like a multiversal event. Like it would have to be something on a multiversal scale. And we haven't seen any multiversal events. We haven't even seen a universal event yet. Like we're waiting for Infinity War to see a universal event take place. I would say if we were going to see like a multiversal event, maybe like Thanos capturing like the heart of the universe, like that, I think would make sense. That would be possible. I mean, they'd have to do a whole story around it and everything, but it'd have to be like two parts, like Infinity War. But I could see that being the case, bringing the One Above All out of hiding and bringing in the Living Tribunal. But again, I don't know. I mean, it's really. I mean, well, the Living Tribunal, he'll probably appear if Marvel's going to include him at all. We may see him in the Infinity War event because he appeared in Infinity Gauntlet, so it kind of makes sense. But have you read any new Star Wars titles? Yes. I read Star Wars #1 and #2, and I have Darth Vader #1 actually sitting over there, which I need to get that signed at New York Comic Con, along with all my variant titles of my comics so far. They're cool. Like, I like what they're doing so far. They're basically like filling in the gaps. Like Star Wars #1 takes place between A New Hope and Return of the Jedi. Darth Vader #1, Princess Leia #1, all that stuff takes place between Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back. So it seems like what they're doing is they're saying, yes, here is Star Wars Episode 7, but the comics are going to fill in the gaps. And they're basically erasing the expanded universe that existed, and they're creating their own expanded universe, which isn't a bad idea. It's actually a really cool concept. So, Let's see. Are you Team Cap or Team Iron Man in the Civil War? Ooh, I'm Team Iron Man. Boo hiss, boo hiss. I'm a huge fan of Iron Man from Civil War. Ryan Chapman. Everybody go check out Ryan Chapman. Ryan Chapman. Yeah, go check him out. Oh, I forgot to post a link in the comments or in the description for a channel. Oh, well, we'll do that next week. Oh well. Let's see. Rob, do you think a Green Lantern TV show could happen? Definitely, and I think it should. I think a Green Lantern TV show would be really solid. See, here's a kicker. I mean, the DC's basically set the stage. Like, we saw Barry Allen run to Coast City, so we know Coast City exists. We've seen like multiple references to Hal Jordan, so we know Hal Jordan exists. And in fact, I think Benny pointed it out. Benny said that in the cinematic, I'm sorry, in the Flash TV show, that they established that that Hal Jordan had already vanished. So presumably he's already been inducted into the Green Lantern Corps. So he may return possibly in the second season or have a cameo as the Green Lantern. I think that'd be a good way to do it. I think the best way for them to do it is to test the water with the Green Lantern, especially coming off the heels of the Ryan Reynolds film. While Ryan Reynolds played a pretty good Hal Jordan, the movie itself, in terms of the script that was written for his character, was not written very well. And so while Ryan Reynolds did a great job, everybody else kind of screwed the pooch. And so I think that them introducing him in like a cameo version would be pretty solid. It'd be pretty awesome. But not introducing him in a cameo version and just jumping into a TV show would be kind of a big gamble. There'd be a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of writing, and it might all just kind of go away. So, we'll see what's up. Let's see. Do you sometimes have problems reading comics off of Marvel Unlimited? Sometimes it won't allow me to download comics offline. I don't do that. I usually just read directly. Norin, I appreciate you coming out, man. I will see you later. I just usually read directly off of Marvel Unlimited. Omar Morgan, welcome. This is your first time here. Again, I've never really used Marvel Unlimited on like the iPad or the iPhone. I just read it directly on my PC. I don't really have a reason to read it on an iPad. My iPad is reserved for like my books and stuff like that. All the Harry Potter books. And I read like The Fault in Our Stars. Like, that book sucked, but yeah. So let's see, how will the Defenders, specifically Daredevil, be brought into the rest of the MCU? We don't know that they will. We don't know that they will be brought into the rest of the MCU. We think they will, and I think Daredevil. Does Daredevil have an appearance in Captain America Civil War? I don't think he does. I want to say that I thought he had an appearance on the set, though. I could be wrong, though. But I think that that if they are folded in, then we'll see them kind of appearing in stages throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we probably really won't see them joining full on until Phase 3, or I guess until until Phase 4. Yeah, I think Phase 4 is when we'll see them like full on appear in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But again, we don't really know. I mean, they could appear in Phase 3. They could have little cameos in Black Panther. They could have little cameos in some other film, in Thor Ragnarok or something like that. I don't know. I mean, in truth, at this point, it's just really kind of like a crapshoot in terms of what Marvel's going to do with their films. Usually, they keep films isolated to the characters. Like Thor Ragnarok will probably focus only on Asgard, but it's not impossible. I mean, if you guys remember in the Thor Ragnarok event, he called on Tony Stark and Captain America, and they actually showed up to help him out. So almost anything's possible. Let's see. Does it feel awkward talking to a camera? No, because I feel like I'm talking to you guys. Like, it doesn't really feel awkward at all. It feels like I'm having a face-to-face conversation, but not really. I don't know if that makes any sense. Leonard Holly, I appreciate it. Rest in peace, Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan's not dead. No way. What do you think about the new series in Battle World? What do you mean? Like the Battle World series itself, or a series starting in Battle World? What do I think about Batman Endgame? Batman Endgame was pretty solid, but I mean, there's definitely room to like keep expanding. There's definitely room to kind of keep going. I mean, I guess the question is, is Batman dead? But I mean, we've got Darkseid War and Batman's alive, so take that for what it's worth. That's really kind of like a big, like, DC screwed the pooch. Like, they basically they spoiled their own spoiler, if that makes any sense. Like, it's I don't know. I mean, any Batman story written by Scott Snyder is going to be good. So, I've got no real qualms with it. As long as he writes, I'm sure he could just write Batman forever and nobody's going to ask any questions. But, I mean, sometimes I think DC just doesn't know what they're doing. Let's see. Who do I think Martin Freeman will play in Civil War? Will you continue Herald of Galactus series? I love that series. I don't know. We'll probably. I mean, there really aren't that many Heralds of Galactus left to go over. I mean, I guess maybe there was Aunt May, but it was really just kind of a fun series to do sporadically. It wasn't meant to be like an ongoing thing. But I mean, I don't know who Martin Freeman's going to play. I've been trying to figure that out. I mean, Baron Zemo's already covered, or I guess Helmut Zemo's already covered. They're not going to give us like Baron Zemo. I think maybe he'll play a senator, but the senator that appeared in Civil War wasn't that important. He was just there for the sake of the Civil War event, and he talked to She-Hulk for a little while. I mean, there's far more important characters besides him that they could use. I mean, I doubt they'll use him for Name of the Submariner, so I don't know. I mean, I have no real idea. Let's see. What do you think about all the leaked videos and photos from the Suicide Squad? Isn't that spoiling the film? I mean, honestly, it's a DC-based film. It probably needs all the help it can get, but you know, it may stand on its own 2 feet too. I don't really know. I mean, I've never been that avid of a fan of the Suicide Squad. Like when they announced and they said they're doing a Suicide Squad movie, I was kind of like, I mean, that's cool. I might go check it out. I mean, I was never that avid of a Suicide Squad fan. I would say that in the end, if they're going to release photos and if they're going to release videos, then they're looking for fan reaction. They're looking for public reaction, and I would say that means they're a little skeptical about the success of the film. They're a little worried about whether or not it'll actually succeed. I could be wrong, but you know, I think they might be a little bit worried. I would love to go to Creamfields, but alas, I don't want to go all the way to I don't want to go all the way to Europe. Let's see. Oh my God, so many questions coming in so fast. Do you think Suicide Squad Joker looks cool? I think he looks like a felon, like an ex-con. I think they've spent too. I think they probably tried too hard to make him different from the other Jokers. Like they didn't want him to look like Steve Englehart Joker. They should have. I mean, they should have. It's weird because I think that DC sat down and they said, okay, like the Jack Nicholson Joker from back in the day is like Steve Englehart Joker to a degree. I guess Heath Ledger Joker is the old school sadistic Joker. The Joker they're trying to give us here, I think, is like a combination between like the crazy Joker and the goofy Joker, but also like the sadistic Joker. I'm not really sure. I don't know if they're trying to make the Joker more like relatable, if they're trying to make the Joker more human. I have no idea. But in the end, I mean, Jared Leto can probably play the Joker pretty well. It's just one of those weird things where we're going to have to like sit down and watch the movie in order to decide whether or not we like this version of the Joker or not. I mean, there's really no, I mean, all we have are like pictures. So there's really no way to know whether or not the Joker is going to be good or not. Let's see. What do I think about Kingdom Come? Kingdom Come was a great series. I love the idea in Kingdom Come when Superman was basically like, I give up on humanity. That was a really cool concept to see Superman just basically walk away, to basically just say like, humanity is virtually irredeemable. Like there's nothing I can do. I mean, Superman like always did what he did, always did his best. Like he always tried to help people, but in the end, like it was just kind of like, you know, he was like, just the heck with it. I think the whole idea of like Wonder Woman showing up and Wonder Woman being like, you got to come back, you know, and that kind of thing, I think was kind of silly. Batman forming his own like cabal, so to speak, was really cool. But Kingdom Come, I think, was a story best left on its own. It was a story best left out there by itself. I'm not really sure I agree with the idea of them like bringing it back in, but it doesn't mean that DC is going to screw it up. They may very well do a really cool job with it in terms of expanding on it and giving us more in that the Kingdom Come continuity if they choose to. But again, it's just kind of up in the air. So, let's see. What do you think about the Civil War lineup in the MCU? Well, I'm kind of on the fence. You know, I think that the problem with the if the stream is lagging, you guys let me know. Does anybody have any lagging problems with the audio in the video? I think that with Age of Ultron, the problem they had is they had so much going on. They had so much happening. So much moving at such a fast pace that it was just kind of like, it was crazy. It was up in the air. It was absolutely nuts. And it seemed like things were moving so quick. With Captain America Civil War, we might have that problem. We might not. We might have, and lower the quality. I think that with Captain America: Civil War, we may not have that problem. It may be written in a way to where we have like all these characters, introduced here, all these characters thrown in, but we don't really have any insanity going on. You know what I mean? Like things moving so kind of like crazy and silly and goofy and stuff like that. Again, it's it depends. I mean, I guess it really does depend on the writing. The Russos are solid. I mean, the Russos are really, really good directors, and so either way, I think it'll be a great movie. I don't think it'll be too wild. I think having like basically the entire roster of the Avengers minus the Incredible Hulk is going to produce a pretty solid film. So, let's see. New 52, Justice League reading order, please. I mean, just start with number one if you wanted to. I mean, you could read quite literally, like, I mean, numbers like 1 through, I think, 6 or 7, maybe 8, deal with the formation of the Justice League. And it literally, like, that's the first time that a lot of the heroes are meeting each other in the New 52. The first time that Hal Jordan meets Batman, for example. The first time that Batman meets the Flash. The first time that Batman meets Superman. And there's actually a fight between the two of them, which is really cool. From there you can kind of jump forward. You can get into stories like the Atlantis story. I don't really remember what that story was, but I don't really think that one's necessary. It's weird. I mean, it's like a series of ongoing stories, but they're not really necessary. In truth, I'd say start with issues number 1 and just kind of pick and choose what you want after the initial basis, the initial formation of the Justice League. Let's see. Can you do a history of the question? I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, throw it up on the request for Marvel requests, or I guess Comics Request Monday, and we'll see what's up. Have I ever been in a fight? Yeah, I mean, I've been in fights. How do you feel about Marvel not releasing the extended cut of Avengers: Age of Ultron for Blu-ray? Well, as far as I know, there is no extended cut. Like the version we saw was the extended cut. Like the other one was the shorter version. Like the one that oh God, his name that Joss Whedon initially wanted to produce was a shorter one. This one is not nearly. I mean, this is like the extended version. Dude, Tyrone Magnus is cool. If you guys don't know who Tyrone Magnus is, you guys should go over to his channel and just be like, Comics Explained sent me here. Like Tyrone Magnus he has really funny reaction videos. Let's see. Do I think something like the Stanford tragedy will occur in the Civil War movie? I don't know. See, that was my big question is like, what's the catalyst? And in truth, I think the catalyst was like Age of Ultron. Like, I think Age of Ultron is the Stanford incident. I think that is like the Stanford conflict. That's Nitro blowing up Stanford, Connecticut. That is the New Warriors jumping into a situation, just going full bore, saying attack, and not really thinking about the consequences. That I think is the Stanford incident. That's the powder keg, that just sets off the whole, Civil War conflict. So again, I guess we'll really find out, but I could be wrong. We may see just like a Stanford, Connecticut thing. Let's see. God, so many questions coming in. Like I'm so tired, but there's so many questions coming in. It's crazy. It's hard to focus. Any thoughts on the Doctor Strange movie? Oh wow. I mean, I'm excited for it. I love Doctor Strange. I think Doctor Strange, he's a rough character. He's a difficult character to do. It's very difficult to write Doctor Strange in a story that's good because he's so powerful. And so the question is, what kind of a story can you put him in that will make him compelling? That where fans won't simply just say, well, why doesn't Doctor Strange just fix it? Why doesn't he just like wave his hands and do his little wand thing and that's it? It's tough to do. I'm hoping that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we already know Doctor Strange is established. Like, we already know he exists. We found that out with, what's his name, in Captain America, with Agent Sitwell. We found that out with Captain America 2, when he was talking about everybody that S.H.I.E.L.D., or I guess that Hydra was monitoring as potential threats. He ran off Stephen Strange's name. And so we know he exists. We know he's probably Doctor Strange at this point in time. We don't know if they're going to give us his backstory, if they're going to tell us about him being a neurosurgeon, him meeting the Ancient One, fighting Mordo, so on and so forth. We don't know if the film's going to focus on Mordo. There's a lot of things up in the air here. I would say their best bet, probably the safest bet in truth, would be to just pick up at the very beginning. Just to say he was a neurosurgeon, he was arrogant, got into a car wreck, lost the use of his hands, eventually found the Ancient One, found out Mordo was trying to overthrow the Ancient One. He helped to defeat Mordo, became the Sorcerer Supreme. So, it seems to me like that'd be the safe bet. That'd be the best bet to go in terms of his character's history. But there's also really compelling characters like Dormammu. But again, that's a character they would have to kind of introduce over time. I could see Dormammu appearing in like Doctor Strange 2. I wouldn't see Dormammu in Doctor Strange 1 because he's such a huge villain. Like, if Dormammu were to become a villain in the Doctor Strange film, it would take the combined efforts of the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy and a litany of other characters that we haven't seen yet, in addition to Doctor Strange, to successfully beat Dormammu. So it'd be nuts. Yeah, he's like wizard level 99. Let's see. Quit your job. You don't need a social life. We need more videos. The ultimate question is Marvel or DC? Well, it used to be Marvel. Like, I used to be like Marvel, and that was it. But, in getting into and reading like New 52, I'm definitely DC now. So, or at least a big fan, as much of a fan as I can be. I do this for a living. Like, this is what I do for a living. Like, I make YouTube videos about comic books. Let's see. Think it will be better than the 1980s Doctor Strange movie? I don't think so. I don't think anything will be better than the 1980s Doctor Strange movie. For those of you guys who haven't seen it, the 1980s Doctor Strange movie is probably the greatest movie of all time. Probably the best movie ever made in the history of all movies, even better than Mad Max Fury Road, which, by the way, is the best movie of all time, regardless of what anybody says. I will say that's one of the greatest movies ever made. Like, for me, it's like No Country for Old Men, and then like Never Ending Story, and then Saving Private Ryan, and then Mad Max Fury Road, and then like Jaws or something like that. Or no, then like The Lion King, I think, would come in number 5. But I don't know successful and as the likes of the Avengers. No, I don't think so, because the Avengers had such a huge buildup. We had Iron Man 1, we had the Incredible Hulk, we had Thor, we had Captain America, we had like this, and like they were all connected. Like, we had post-credit scenes, and they were all connected, so we all knew this was building up into something huge. Plus, at the end of Iron Man 1, it was like Nick Fury's like Avengers Initiative, and so we knew the Avengers was coming. But with this, like with Superman versus Batman, it'll be big, it'll be huge, like, it'll be a huge blockbuster film. I just don't think it's going to be like the Avengers level blockbuster film. I think it'll be solid, and I'll go see it. But no. Lord of the Rings trilogy, yeah, Lord of the Rings trilogy was pretty solid too. Road Warrior was really good. I agree. Road Warrior was good. But also, don't forget Beyond Thunderdome. Like, Beyond Thunderdome was pretty solid too. Who runs Bartertown? Let's see. Hey Rob, sorry to spam, but I'm curious, where do you think Old Man Logan is going next? Well, I haven't read the story yet. I haven't read the solicitation from Secret Wars, so that one I really can't answer. But I would say that I have no idea. It's on my list. Like, I'll read that tonight. And again, like I said, for those of you guys who are just joining us, what I'll probably do is Airplane is like top 10, but it's not top 5. I'll probably end up doing like a review for week 2 on Wednesday, and then do a review for week 3 on Thursday. That way we're caught up, and then we'll finish out Age of Apocalypse and go from there. Then we'll jump into like Inferno. We'll jump into Where Monsters Dwell. We'll explain all that stuff so that it all makes sense in Secret Wars. So, let's see. So Rob, I just started a channel, and the vids suck. Do you have any pointers? Make better videos, I guess. I don't know. It's look, guys, I love it when you guys ask me questions like, how do I grow a YouTube channel? Like, how do I make my channel grow? How do I make my channel expand? Look, at the end of the day, I think I was just in the right place at the right time. And that, like, that's my attitude for how I got where I am. Like, I was just in the right place at the right time, and I just made the right kind of videos, and you guys loved my videos, and that's that. I can't give you guys like a winning recipe. I can't line out like, do these 3 things and people will love your content. One of the big things you can do is answer questions that a lot of people have. I think that one of the cornerstones of my video is answering questions that people have. That's, it's, people want to know, like, what's Inferno? Okay, let's explain Inferno. That's the kind of thing that latches on, but, can I hit your vapor? But it's, I don't know. It's weird. My voice brought you guys in. How many of you guys are here because of my voice? Like, just type like voice in the chat if you're here because of my voice. So, because I'm curious, I'm just kind of interested. I mean, is it a very sexy voice? Do you guys dig the voice that I have? I mean, I never really thought it was that great of a voice, but you know, I mean, I guess it really just depends. um, let's see, DC versus Marvel, physically stronger characters. Oh God. I mean, Marvel's got Incredible Hulk. Marvel's got voice, voice. Everybody's like voice. Oh my God. Holy cow. Rob's voice explained. Oh man, you guys are here for my voice. Smooth as butter. That is the greatest. That's amazing. Rob's voice explained. There were like 200 people were just like voice. That was awesome. That was hilarious. Um, I forgot what I was talking about. Let's see. It's a booming yet calming voice. Yeah, like I was talking to Scott over at NerdSync, and I was like, okay, dude. I was like, tell me what it is about my voice. Like, I don't understand. He was like, well, he's like, when you talk, it's like you're just compelled to listen. Like, yeah, Rob. Like, yeah. Like, that's a cool story, Rob. Like, yeah, man. Like, I'm so like immersed in what you're talking about. And it's just funny to me. It just kind of it just kind of cracks me up. Let's see. How will Phoenix Force play in Battle World? Well, see, that's the kicker. I mean, as far as we know right now, like Scott Summers is the only Phoenix Force. Again, I'm not necessarily caught up. So for those of you guys who are currently caught up, if that was revealed, then you know, bear with me since I don't know. But as far as we know, Scott Summers is the only person in possession of the Phoenix Force, and so I don't know. I mean, I'm curious. I'm actually really curious. I would say we may end up seeing Scott Summers like, you know, going away and the Phoenix Force like taking on the role of a cosmic entity within the realm of the new Secret Wars Battle World. But again, I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong here. So sing Barry White songs. Actually, I mean, I am a pretty good singer. Well, I think I am. I used to be anyway before I got into cigarettes. But I sang in Allstate a couple times when I was in high school, and yeah, that was really fun. So I was a baritone. I was a cross between a tenor and a bass, and it was really fun. I was actually in the same chorus class as a friend of mine named Lauren. Like, man, that chorus class, man. Oh my God, yes, memories. It was interesting. Am I excited about Ant-Man? I see. We were talking about that before. Me and the guys were talking about Ant-Man, and the question was like, is anybody excited for for Ant-Man? Does anybody care? My personal opinion, yes, I really want to see Ant-Man. The question I have though is, did Marvel like screw the pooch with Ant-Man? Because in truth, the way they set it up, like initially, Avengers 2 Age of Ultron was supposed to be like the end of Phase 2. But then they brought in Ant-Man, and that's going to be the end of Phase 2. I think they brought that in at the wrong time. In truth, Ant-Man should have come much earlier. Ant-Man should have come a while from, you know, it should have been like after Iron Man 1, but between the Incredible Hulk. And the reason why is because I quit smoking. I use my e-cigarette now. Like tobacco is just, it's in hindsight, like I've been clean for like 2 years, and it amazes me like how bad cigarettes smell now. But anyway, I feel like, you know, Ant-Man should have come after Iron Man 1, but before the Incredible Hulk. Because now that, I mean, with Avengers 2 Age of Ultron, people were like, okay, like the Ultron hype. Like the Ultron hype was real. Like you guys remember, it was nuts. Everybody was like, Avengers 2! Avengers 2! You know, everybody was so excited for it. And then, you know, following this, we have Captain America 3 Civil War. Following Captain America 3 Civil War, we have like everything in Phase 3. We've got Miss Marvel, we've got the Inhumans, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy 2, we've got Black Panther, we've got Doctor Strange. There's no room for a character like Ant-Man. And so in truth, Ant-Man could be a sleeper. It could very well be a movie that just kind of sneaks in and then boom, blows up at the box office and is absolutely incredible. But in truth, I think that they've built movies up so well, and they've given us such like awesome movies so far, that I think that Ant-Man is going to feel like Iron Man 1, and because it's going to feel like Iron Man 1, which was like 8 years ago, it's going to fall short. People are going to say, well, this is not up to the standard of Marvel Cinematic Universe movies now, because they've increased the standard so much. 90s mega mix, yes! Watching Nuggets knows what's going on. but yeah, I think that's gonna be the big thing now. I'm not really sure, but again, I mean, I could be wrong. It could be that Ant-Man's gonna be a stellar movie. It might blow people away. It might smash box office records and all that kind of stuff. I have no idea. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm gonna go see it. I'm not gonna not go see it. Let's see. What do you? We already talked about that Martin Freeman. Molecule Man merged with Doctor Doom, making him like crazy powerful. See, I thought that was the case, but have they confirmed that or not? Because I thought that was the case. Let's see. Guardians of the Galaxy, though, Rob. Yeah, Deadpool. Yeah, that's true. Deadpool's coming out too. Doctor Strange has Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One. What do you think, Rob? Love the show coming in from the UK. Tilda Swinton, isn't she like she's like that older lady, isn't she? Like she played Gabriel in Constantine, I think. Oh yes, Tilda Swinton. Let me tell you something, man. Like Tilda Swinton. If she's playing a character in a movie, I will go watch that movie. Like I don't care what that movie is. It could be a movie of Tilda Swinton watching paint peel, and I will go and watch that movie. And it'll be like the most artistic movie I've ever seen, and it'll be like this really highlights what acting is, the ability to like be yourself, but watch something miserable take place in front of you. I don't know. Tilda Swinton is going to play the Ancient One. Is that confirmed? I mean, hold on. Let's Google that real quick because I haven't heard anything about that. Tilda Swinton, Ancient One, in negotiations to join Doctor Strange. Does it say? Oh, okay. Reportedly up for the Ancient One. I mean, I'm down with that. I mean, I'll go see it. I think she'd be a great version. She's hot, yeah. she's a very attractive woman. Yeah, I mean, I'd be down to see her play the Ancient One. I mean, I'd have no problem with it. What happened to Pepper Potts? We don't know. All we know is Iron Man 3 ended, and that was it. So we have no idea where Pepper Potts is. We know she's alive. I mean, we know she's not dead. They talked about her a little bit during during Avengers Age of Ultron. So I mean, like she's not dead. She's alive. I mean, they had a little bit of a debate, but as far as we know, she's still just running, Stark Industries. So maybe we'll see her. At least I hope we'll see her a little more, but we might not. So I guess we'll find out. Rob, I dreamed that DC. Ooh, let's scroll back up. Oops. So many questions coming in. I dreamed that DC announced that the Green Lantern movie is canon and some version of Emerald Twilight happened. Would that be a good idea? I mean, I'm not really sure. If I were DC at this point, I'd distance myself from the Green Lantern movie. I would say, yeah, we made it, but, don't worry about it. Like, the Green Lantern is like DC's version of Howard the Duck when Marvel made that movie back in the day. Like, yeah. Do I think Penance will be included in the Civil War movie? No, I don't think so. I mean, there's no reason. I mean, the reason why Penance was kind of a stupid idea, but the reason why Penance came about was because it was like Robbie Baldwin, like the result of all the hassle Robbie Baldwin went through, and like all the misery and all the crap that he'd been given over the years, and like how everything just kind of went crazy. I mean, it was that, ultimately resulted in him kind of losing his mind and becoming Penance, but we don't know who he is. He doesn't exist so far. And so there's really no reason to incorporate that element. The Green Lantern is poopy. The Green Lantern's poop. That movie was poop. It was poop and pee. Let's see. Batman versus Iron Man. Answer my question, please, Rob. Was answer my question. Um, Batman versus Iron Man. Probably Batman. I mean, well, if Batman gets no prep time, if he has no prep time, they just randomly meet, then definitely Iron Man. Let's see. Batman and Superman versus the whole MCU. Ooh. Probably Batman. Okay. If Batman has prep time and then he joins Superman and they fight the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe so far, definitely Batman and Superman. Like, they would lay waste to the Marvel Cinematic Universe so far. The only person left standing that would present a challenge against the two of them would be the Incredible Hulk. And, that would be difficult. Now, we're not including Doctor Strange or Captain Marvel or any of those because they're not here yet. But, I mean, like, at this point right now, I would say, like, definitely Batman and Superman. I need to narrate a Marvel movie. It'd be fun. It'd be interesting to narrate. Let's see. What do you think will happen to the X titles after Secret Wars? I think they'll be kind of like shunted into the background. I think they'll be just kind of like slammed in the back, and that'll be that. I don't really think they're going to amount to anything. I mean, what reason is there for them to amount to anything? I mean, there's no reason to do anything with them. I mean, they're just kind of there, and some stuff will happen, and that's it. But they're not going to receive anywhere near like the forefront. Like, I mean, that's why we have Attila Rising. That's why the Inhumans are becoming like the mainstay. The Inhumans are replacing the X-Men, both in the comics and in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, let's see. Do you think Deadpool could take down the entire DC universe? See, that's a good question. See, the reason why Deadpool was able to kill off so many characters in Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe is because he was familiar with them. He knew what their powers were. In DC, he doesn't know what their powers were, but he can heal from anything. So I'd say yes. I'd say DC. I'd say he could probably take down the entire DC universe. Which, by the way, that needs to happen. Somebody at Marvel and DC, like Didio or like Alonzo, like one of you guys need to like sit down and say, okay, Deadpool kills the DC universe. Let's make that story happen. Okay, how many of you guys would buy a story called Deadpool kills the DC universe? Like how many of you would buy that story? Are you the next Robin for Batfleck? I wish. I wish I were playing. I wish I were playing Robin for Batfleck. I would happily play Robin. I'd be like the fattest Robin ever. I would be like, I'm coming, Batman. Like, I'm coming, man. Just hold your horses, man. I'm out of breath. Let's see. Rob with the with most powerful superheroes now, dead in Secret Wars. How will Marvel renew them again, or will they be dead forever? They'll renew them again. Like they'll definitely come back. Yeah. See, like everybody would. See, everybody's like, I would buy one. Like Deadpool kills the DC universe. Who the hell wouldn't buy that? It'd be hilarious. Yeah. See, everybody would. Like it'd be amazing. Deadpool kills the DC universe. I'd buy the shit out of that book. I'd run to the store and buy it so fast and make your head spin. Oh man. Okay, a couple more questions, guys, and then we're gonna go ahead and call it a night. Let's see. Who do I think will be cast as Spider-Man? Well, like I said, I think Asa Butterfield is the only one that's going to be cast. What is your dream role for Matthew McConaughey in the MCU? And ever go to Little Monsters Comics in Somerset, Kentucky? Well, Somerset's like 3 hours away from me, so no, I've never been there. But Matthew McConaughey in the MCU, one, I don't think he'd be a good fit. But two, if he were, I don't know. I mean, I couldn't really see Matthew McConaughey in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's see. What would I do with the Infinity Gauntlet? Ooh. Man. What would I do with the Infinity Gauntlet? I don't know. I don't know what I would do with the Infinity Gauntlet. I need to change the batteries out of this thing. Let's see. I mean, I can do anything. Like, I can literally do anything with the Infinity Gauntlet. Well, one, I would use the gauntlet to... Well, no, I don't think I'd make myself immortal. I mean, okay. If you got the Infinity Gauntlet, what would you want with anything? I mean, you could do literally anything. Okay. Okay, let's enhance this question a little more. Let's say that I have the Infinity Gauntlet, but I only have it for like 3 hours. Then what would I do with the Infinity Gauntlet if I only had it for 3 hours? Well, I'd traverse the cosmos. Like I would traverse the universe. I would travel around, look at like all the systems and all that kind of good stuff, and I would freeze time so that time wouldn't pass over the course of that 3 hours. God, I don't know. I mean, that's a difficult question. That's a tough question to ask. That takes some thinking. Because I don't. I want to stay away from the normal stuff. I've just been ignoring ignoring the trolls. I try to stay. I'm trying to stay away from this stuff. Like, well, I'd make a really hot girlfriend, and like replace my current girlfriend. I would give myself like $1 trillion. I mean, I don't want to do something like that. I mean, that'd be kind of silly. Let's see. Beyond YouTube, what would you do within the what would I like to do within the comic book industry? Honestly, I'd like to be like a comic book advisor for movies, like advise movie studios on comic book characters. I don't really want to write comics. I don't really want to like draw comics. I don't want to create stories. It's not really my thing. I'd rather just be an advisor. Like I'd rather work for Fox or be like I guess on retainer for Fox or for maybe like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Although I doubt they'd really need me since they have like everybody producing from the comic book writers. I mean, I'd like to just be an advisor, be like, hey guys, like I do this different, I do that different. If they like handed me a script, I could run over the script and say, okay, here's some corrections, here's what I would do different. But again, it'd be just I think I'd enjoy that more. I think I'd have more fun doing that. But kill haters. What do you think on a Galactus movie in the MCU? Well, I mean, we won't get that. I mean, we're not going to get Galactus. Galactus is a Fantastic Four property. We're never going to see him. So, let's see. What's your favorite Marvel DC TV show? Definitely Daredevil, and definitely probably it's actually a toss up between the Arrow and the Flash because they're both really solid shows. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and bounce off here. Again, make sure you guys check out Tyrone Magnus. Head over to Tyrone Magnus's YouTube channel and just be like, Rob sent me here, and or say like Comics Explained sent me here, and he'll be like, yes. He'll be like, thank you, Magnusites. he's really funny. He's got some awesome reaction videos. But anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and bounce off here, guys, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.